Hello everybody, this is Mackerel Phones and I'm playing...
Mackerel!
Thanks, Pac-Man. This is actually not one that I'm trying per se. You see, I actually played this years and years ago, back when it first came out. I remember that this was one of 3 games that came out for Pac-Man's 25th anniversary, the others being Pac-Pix on the DS, and the multi-platform Pac-Man World 3. Surprisingly enough, though, this was probably my favorite of the 3. At least, I remember it that way. Let's begin. Now, as you can see, I got quite far in the game back when I, played it. Like, really, I don't think I 100% cleared it, but I got pretty darn close, as I suppose you can see here. However,
Mackerel!
we're not going to just start. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so I figured this out. Pac-Moon, by the way, is the special bonus area, but you can indeed start a new game. For some reason, though, you only have a single game file available in the game, which is, rather frustrating. And although you can see all the cutscenes again, it's not quite the same. So I'm going to be starting a new game, although, bizarrely, according to the manual, you can only do this by pressing the A button, X button, Y button, L button, and, well, basically all the buttons at once, while the Namco logo is shown just after turning it on. I'm never really seen such a roundabout way of starting a new game before. I've certainly heard of games where you only have one file, but you have to practically put in a cheat code to start a new game? That's pretty bizarre. Well, I'll do what I have to. You see the video evidence right here of just how much I have conquered this game. But that was years ago. I'm probably a bit rustier now. Let's do this. I'm pressing all the buttons. Here we go. This is a, kind of a bold move for me. I mean, I have a lot of fond memories of this. But I'm an adult now. After all, what matters is the experience, the memories, not the existence of some baubles to chronicle them. And I do have baubles to chronicle them anyway, thanks to the power of video.
Mackerel!
Okay, now we're gonna start this for real. My intention is to, revisit the beginning of it with some commentary, the first few levels really, and to then do a proper long play of it, or playthrough anyway, since I probably won't 100% it, is a sort of way of honoring this obscure title. At least I think it's obscure. I've never heard anyone acknowledge its existence. Now, so as you might have noticed, this is sort of a, origin story for Pac-Man. And his dream is, oddly enough, the tutorial. Well, alright. This is described as a trackball game. But is that a genre? Because I've never heard of it before. Pac Dots! And he makes the same waka as ever. Later on it will become important to eat all the Pac Dots, but that's to happen later, not now. What a nightmare, eh, Pac-Man? I love the artwork here. So, they're gathering together in a field and shining a beacon into the sky to summon this ghost. Well, it's hardly unidentified, though. Ghosts do have a pretty big weakness. Except Golvis. Though you may notice that his tail was turning blue. And here is a character that I found rather striking those years ago. I forgot her name, though. See, some people grew up with Tinkerbell as their model fairy, but for me it was Krystal. And I guess we begin Castle Pac. As it turns out, the Pac-Master lived on an island in the sky. So, let's go! Okay, can do, Krystal. It's an unusually elaborate introduction for an arcade-style game like this. Well, it's not quite arcade-style. I forget how you change the... Oh, that's how you change the camera angle, yes. With the control pad. Notice that the Pac-Dots sort of fly towards Pac-Man. He has a bit of magnetism. Ah, yes, the Golvis gates. I suppose they're a descendant of those Pac-Dot gates back in, Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. Now, I think it's interesting to note that this is... About the same time as this came out, I was playing Kirby Canvas Curse. So I guess as far as I'm concerned, a sure recipe for success is taking a protagonist who's round and eats a lot and turning them into a ball. But what's this? There's a box. Can we attack the box? Well, there's some way to, but I don't quite remember it. I think it's interesting that the ultimate ghost warrior, although he is indeed very dangerous, is not exactly a super powerful villain, but is kind of a big idiot. Really, he's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. It's just such a bizarre combination. He's invincible to, well, to a normal number of power pellets anyway, and on top of that, he's also, well, a goofy rock and roll warrior. It's just such a bizarre combination, and it just sort of fascinates me. I found it really striking back then. I'd never seen a rock and roll themed villain. I know it's not exactly an original idea, but... Now, you might think, well, that's really simple. Come on. Really? Yes, really. Because you see, my recollection is this gets way harder. At least enough that there's a bit of a challenge. See? Now we're introducing enemies. Yeah, you just swat them away like mosquitoes. Lose one Pac-Man? Odd way of putting it, Krystal. Wonder what the in-story explanation for lives is. Who can say? I mean, I guess I could say, but I really have no idea. Oh, there's Clyde. I know that some might say that's Blinky, but I remember back in the, Pac-Man World games when they began calling them by, different names. For some reason, the orange one became Clyde, and the other one became Blinky. Now, it's unique among the Pac-Man canon is that in this one, they don't just take off health, you can swat them away. I don't remember how that worked. I mean, it has been, I don't know, maybe 10 years? It's a nice touch the way that the screen transition there is just, it's like one of those old cartoons where they end by having the iris. But here the iris is shaped like the original Pac-Man sprite. It's even pixely as the original Pac-Man sprite. Now, my recollection of this is that, the ghosts, after you eat them, do not regenerate. I mean, we're certainly not killing them, because they're clearly the main ghost gang. You know, Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde. They come back later. Oh, is some risky not power pellets. Pac-Dot's power pellets are related, but they're not the same thing. Now, it's a nice touch that the power pellets are harvested, because I remember that in the Hanna-Barbera Pac-Man animated series, which is, you know, just one of the gems of world animation. I mean, there's really nothing in the whole, you know, global animated canon quite like it. You know, Princess Mononoke, Tragedy of Man, Disney films like, I don't know, what's some Disney movie? There are a few Disney movies. I think they made a few, didn't they? But, all that stuff, forgettable garbage in comparison with Hanna-Barbera's Pac-Man. In all honesty, though, I did like the voice the guy in it had.
Oh no! My brakes are out!
There's some way to charge forward, but I don't remember what it is for the life of me. Oh well. I don't think there's quite the same 100% completion rewards in this game that there were in, say, Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. And even then, like I said, I don't intend to 100% clear these levels anyway. It just doesn't strike me as necessary. Pac-Man's voice got a lot deeper when he got older. His in-game sprite reminds me of what Pac-Man looks like in the arcade game Pac-Mania. Only there, Pac-Man can jump. Perhaps you're asking yourself, Mackerel Phones, of all the assistants Pac-Man could have, why is it, you know, a fairy? Well, that's a good enough question, I guess. Allow me to explain. Pac-Man actually has a history with fairies. Huh? Now here's what I was looking for. Alright. There we go. Yep. And you can smash crates with it. Whoop! Whoop! This is the sort of thing that probably would have taken me a lot of tries back then, too. Yeah, see? Krystal knows where it's at. Okay, Krystal, let's do this! Although I do think it's a nice touch to give the option to turn off the tutorial if you want. I think it only contributes to the experience. Although, because of the autosave feature, this would be particularly hard to long play. Because you couldn't, say, have a game going, and then, just start a new game, because you'd have to, you have to totally wipe the game. Like, if you make one mistake, you know, you can't just correct that, because you only have one save file, and it autosaves all the time. Yes, that's what you do with difficulty C. I wonder what she said. What the? Why can't I turn it that way? It's weird. Well, anyway. Oh, look, it's one of those flags from that, Rally X, which was sort of a cousin of Pac-Man, and it was a high-speed, you know, maze chase game. I don't know how he hangs onto ledges, though. I suppose he uses his teeth. Just kidding, Pac-Man doesn't have teeth. That'd be horrifying. I mean, can you imagine? Now, every level has, like, a hidden diamond or something, I think. I got most of those back when I was playing this originally, but now, I'm not sure I would. Because I just don't think I will. I'm just not convinced it's really worth it. Not because I, don't think it's a good game, but because I think I have more valuable things to do today. This is really not working well, and it's going to look humiliating in the long play. It's not the game's fault, though, it's mine. Alright, come on, come on. Oh, Pac-Man got onto the side of that. Good job, Packy Pack. I bet was Pac Girl called him. Now, she probably just called him... I guess he's not really Pac-Man yet, though. He's Pac-Boy. Yay! Batman or Pac-Boy and Robin? Doesn't have the same ring to it. Anyway, but as I was saying earlier, you might be asking yourself, Mackerel Phones. Oh, and finally, we're inside. Gosh, good to have some roof over your heads, even if your whole country has been taken over by the, by the ghosts. I mean, listen to this. This does not sound like I'm in, the capital city of my country that's been taken over by the ghosts. By the enemy tribe who have kidnapped all of my friends and family and have quite possibly just killed them. Come on, Pac-Man! Christ! Pac-Man, break the crate! See, like that, Pac-Man. Like this. Gosh. Oh. Okay. Thanks. Now, the reason that I think it makes sense that Pac-Man's helped by a fairy is that he has a bit of a history with them. So maybe it doesn't really make sense, but there's precedent for it. You see, as far back as the arcade game Pac-Land, Pac-Man was allied with fairies. Alright, there we go. Oh, I see. How can I do this reliably is the question. I believe that as normal Pac-Man you can't smash the metal crates, but in this form, you bet you can. Although he definitely is moving rather sluggishly, as Krystal put it. I like that you put it that way. Makes me respect her more. It's a sort of vaguely, it sounds like a vaguely more intelligent than just to say he was a bit heavy or something like that. Now we have branching paths. So, let's see what's up the northern path. Ah, come on, Golvis. He has an odd voice, doesn't he? He sounds like some kind of anime villain. Not like a major villain, but like a kind of hammy villain who shows up a few times during the season. A sort of comic relief sort of villain, you know? Oh, how are we gonna get across there? Well, there is a trick to it. And it's not being a night Pac-Man, go! Get away, Pinky! Roll! Come on! Do the dash thing! Oh, they can't get back here anyway, well. It's been a while since I've countered a control that I found quite this hard to pull off. Now, you might notice he has a power pellet on his head. Wait, what? Well, my long play has been absolutely ruined. So I guess it really will be a playthrough then, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm really kind of impressed at just how much I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't think it would be quite this much. In fact, I'm surprised that hurt me. I didn't realize the ghost had taken away health. I guess I should have known. And we're gonna get back here, and we're gonna get this last ghost, Blinky. And we're probably gonna be more on the other side of this, guys, but not... guess not. In any case, I think we have, that one-up makes up for our loss. And as you can see, the chocolate regenerates. I never understood as a lad why exactly chocolate turns you into a knight. Is there some connection there? I'm missing? Now, here's the thing about, well, yeah, I was about to say. Krystal beat me to it, however. I don't believe the ghosts can go into the water. Now, you see, if we were floating, we would not have been able to get under that wall. I could have done that a bit more elegantly. I will next time. Right now, I feel almost like some kind of... well, I don't want to say something that could offend somebody, but I feel like I can't control my limbs. I'm doing so poorly here. It's appropriate enough. Pac-Man is kind of stuck without limbs, after all. Was I always this inelegant in my execution of the game controls? I'm not entirely sure. And I suppose I can never really be sure, because I can't go back in time and find out, now can I? There's no documentation of me in that age, so there's no proof I actually exist. For all you know, I could be an artificial intelligence, or some sort of alien who came to Earth from another dimension. It's certainly possible. Come on, Pac-Man! Pac-Man! There we go. I'm sure there's some way to do this. We'll guarantee you always do it every time. Like, I remember just clearing whole hallways by just doing this. Like, it just seems so sort of unreliable. And it's going to make the entire long play look so stupid. Unless I wipe the data and begin it again, which I guess is always an option. But first, I gotta learn how to do this thing reliably. There we go. Yeah. I thought I got it. Oh, there we go. I can't figure it out. It's like sometimes I tap it. Like, it's not just tapping, you gotta move forward. But I think I'm beginning to get the hang of it again. I remember that by the end of this, I was pretty good at it. And you had to be, or you wouldn't be able to complete it. You know, this armor really wouldn't... Well, I guess there are probably still arm holes and leg holes, even if Pac-Man can't use them right now due to the spell that's been cast on him. Now, if Golvis really wanted to stop them, he'd probably use his magic to, say, close their mouths permanently or something like that. Instead, I'm not sure what he's done. Well, I mean, I do. He's gotten rid of their arms and legs. That'd be pretty crippling. Humans can't roll like this, and as it is, Pac-Man's probably, like, every time he does a complete rotation, he breaks his nose. That's pretty unpleasant. Okay. Hang glide to a hill. Yeah, bye guys. I don't, screw you. I don't need to deal with ghosts. They're just a bunch of rotten ghosts after all. Now I see what that thing on the right is. Oh. So you see, we have power-ups in this game that change your weight. But the thing on the right, of course, is our health bar. How did it take me this long to notice? I feel like a dirty fool at this point. Not only is he lighter weight, but he, moves more quickly, too. Oh. So those ghosts are getting tricky. Coming out here with tanks, you know, to take us out. I mean, some kind of military vehicle. Come on! Pac-Man, now it's more than ever! It's critical that you hit it! Christ's sake, Pac-Man! You stupid idiot! I hate you! Anyway, let's keep going. This is so much fun. Oh. Okay. Hopefully I will. Yeah, it does. What the? Oh, no, the island isn't sinking. I wonder what makes these islands float, though. I've never seen this phenomenon in, you know, anywhere I've been to. I'm not saying it doesn't exist anywhere, but I've never personally seen floating islands moving up and down. I'm pretty sure that sort of thing usually only happens in Pac-Land, apparently, and I guess the Mushroom Kingdom sometimes. You might notice there's no boss stage here. And you'd be right. The first one of those is in Gyro Jungle. People go here all the time to get delicious gyros. And you might notice Krystal's no longer there for us. We've cleared the tutorial stage, which is appropriately a Pac-Master's place where Pac-Man went to study. So, you know, makes sense. Alright. So, normal Pac-Man floats. As for why he floats, I can't say I'm entirely sure. Oh, but we're not going to be able to get up there like this now, are we? Now we're going to have to do this! Come on! Listen, Pac-Man. Listen to me, man. All I need you to do is this. Is this reliably. Do it reliably. Now, I understand this is my fault. Come on! I don't remember having this kind of hard time with this. I remember I'd sit around in restaurants and I'd play this because I'm a desperate nerd who is socially maladjusted, but come on! Come on! I'm missing something here. This can't be this hard. Let's go to the manual again. Hey, manual, what do I gotta do? Come on, man. Now it's paused. But Pac-Man's still blinking, though. It'd be a bit creepy otherwise. Okay, I see the problem. I've been starting the bursts in the red zone instead of moving toward that part of the screen. So this is what I need to change, is it's this. It's like you move it up, and you stop there. I see now. I savvy. And I'm definitely starting a new game after this, so my playthrough can at least begin looking by seeming to be at least mildly confident. Alright. Now, as for what good this does me, I can't say I'm entire... Oh, I see now. I missed that under the water there. So we got our wing cap chocolate bar, and now I got a normal Pac chocolate bar. They're very nutritional chocolate to give Pac-Man these power-ups. I imagine that it's some kind of, say... Yeah, we can't go that way. I imagine that it must be some kind of dark chocolate, or nutritional chocolate anyway. Man, speed up panels, huh? What is this, Sonic? Of course it's Sonic. What else would this be? Sonic also rolled up into balls occasionally now, didn't he? Why, yes he did. No! Okay, no. Here we go now. Here, yeah. So, the Pac people have clearly, you know, done their share of sort of infrastructure building even out here in the jungle. Building these, lifts. Now, exactly what's powering these, I'm not sure, especially since they seem to be made of wood. So, who can say... Oh, Krystal! Whoa! There we go. Oh, nah, I didn't quite make it. That's fine, we'll make it this way. Onto the boardwalk. Once again, the story's tone is kind of goofy, but this music does still seem a bit goofy to, like, lighthearted for what's supposedly going on. Oh, I remember this part. The big slide. Didn't slide fast enough, though, did you, Clyde? You see, it just goes to show the Ghost of Face, like, their immense weakness to the Pacs has really left them vulnerable to a systemic repression by the Pac people. They've always been the servant caste, so it's no wonder that they dislike their oppressors as they do. Oh dear. We're not going to be able to get there, though. Not by that lily pad pond. So we're going to have to start over and get more Pac dots. Isn't that just how it is? Your goal is right behind where you began. Life is full of surprises, though, now, isn't it? So obviously what we need to do is fall down and get all these ones that are sort of in the middle. You see them. You see the ones. Or we can stay on the platforms and get them too. I'll stay here and munch on them. You see, they're like caterpillars, Pac people are. They depend on, nutrients in order to grow up big and strong. Yup, big and strong. I'm surprised that I actually did so much of the time attack levels in this game. I normally am not a big fan of that kind of thing. I don't like time limits. I mean, there makes sense sometimes. Say there's a bomb and you need to defuse the bomb before a bomb explodes. Which, shockingly enough, they actually did do in Pac-Man World 3, if I remember right. I mean, it's been years. It's been as long as it's been since I played this. Which is to say, it's been years. But anyway, so... I'm making some sense here. I'm beginning to develop a sense of direction, a sense of purpose in this. Because I'm no longer flailing around with no motor control like a baby. I mean, Pac-Man just learning 2. On the subject of 2, the number 2 in this font looks like the number 9. You'd think they would have taken care of that. So here we're encountering our first bounce pads. Notice that Krystal doesn't feel the need to explain the bounce pads to us. Yeah, I don't know either. Really though, who put these bounce pads here? Looking at them, I could almost imagine that there's some kind of fungus that naturally occurs in the jungle. But I don't think that's really what they are, though. I mean, that's my guess at least. Call me crazy. You might notice that so far the ghosts have not really posed much of a threat. That's because Pac-Man is totally tough and the ghosts are pathetic. They can't even fight a child. Now, I mean, not that you need me to tell you they're pathetic, it's obvious from all the stuff that's been going on so far. Alright, Pac-Man, there you go, Pac. Good old Packy Pac. Now, I guess I could have kept going and probably gotten the diamond, but who cares? It's just a priceless diamond. Those are only priceless because of the immoral monopoly on diamonds maintained by the evil corporation De Beers. Don't buy diamonds. Especially when there are similarly beautiful gems that you can get at a reasonable price, okay? for goodness sake, it's a stupid tradition that's been introduced by... Oh, we can be a knight. I'll be a knight. I'll be Sir Pac-a-Lot. I believe Sir Pac-a-Lot is who, in Pac-Man World 2, they say sealed up, Spooky, who might win the reward for the least intimidating villain name ever. You might also notice here that the ghosts are, following a set patrol, interestingly enough. Alright, Ghost, that was a nice attempt you had there at stopping old Pac-Man, but it didn't quite work, now did it? The answer, by the way, is no! No, it didn't quite work. Sometimes all you can do, there's not an elegant way to get to the top, you just have to kind of keep rolling forward until you do. That's good advice for life, though. Alright, so what's in this box here? A life. I'll take it. Not sure why they're the pole position flags, though, but Namco is fond of referencing older properties in their games. Unfortunately, though, I missed the power pellet. Well, that was close, but don't worry, we're not gonna miss this power. This one, we got this one. These tropical jungle flowers would be a lot less pretty if we were, you know, in a constant life or death struggle. Which was what this is. This is war, keep in mind, that we see here. I mean, this is a child lost on his own in the wilderness. And all of his friends and family have been taken prisoner by the longtime racial enemies of his people. So, the point I'm trying to make here is that this is pretty intense stuff, what you're seeing here unfolding. I mean, this is you know, generations of what were generations of racial warfare get you. Lighthearted music is an intentional, rather subversive way of sort of belying the seriousness and horror of the situation, which is really represented masterfully in this narrative here. This is really probably one of the greatest stories that's ever been told in the history of certainly on the Nintendo DS. Yeah, I mean, I know there are games like Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, or Hotel Dusk, or the Professor Layton games, but yeah, you know, all things considered, are those really telling stories as deeply meaningful as this one? You see, this one, racial hatreds and tensions are one of the biggest conflicts in the world today, and here they really want to do what you know, most people, it's easy to make a story that completely demonizes these things, but here, they're putting you in the mindscape of the very people who are in it, which we must understand if we are to prevent these conflicts. So, you see, there's really quite a lot of, you know, intellectual business going on here in the chronicles of Pack and Roll, in the gospel of Pack and Roll. Take out the ship. Take out the UFO. Take it out. Yes. Finally. I swear, sometimes Pac-Man, I swear, you're just such a good-for-nothing piece. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's go. Let's climb back up to the top of the Ghost Coliseum, or the Ghostaceum. It's easier said than done, I must say. Get Pinky. I know they're tempted to kill a child because they're blinded by generations of war between their people. When really, at this point, and this is just the beginning of lifetime of violence between, you know, old Pac-Man and the Ghost Guys. Those Ghost Gang will be causing Pac-Man trouble for years to come until he is an adult. In fact, just as they've kidnapped all his friends and family here, they will do it later on his 20th birthday. This is deep lore stuff here, guys. Which, of course, was... Oh, come on. Well, this is going to be rather difficult to get past. No. No, no. No, no, no. No, you... I'm literally... Oh, I'm not stuck. You get to restart again. We saw that we could get the diamond if we could get all the way to the end in the suit of armor. And that's just what I'm gonna do. So I think you might be noticing a common level construction at this point. Now, whether this is going to persist to the end, I honestly don't remember. But you can see that, very often, a level is set up such that you might not get everything the first way through. But... you can certainly, you certainly can get, not quite everything per se, but certainly a lot of it anyway. If I had known better, if I had had the foresight I could have fought off these ghosts back when I came through this part of the level the first time. But instead, look what I have done. Man, it's going to be very hard to climb the walls of the Colosseum in a suit of armor. I suppose that's why they designed it that way, so that they can see not the barbarians, the gladiators fighting, although I do think it is barbaric. I certainly don't condone that sort of thing. They can see them fighting and see it as, it can have this... It puts the people in the armor at a disadvantage, because you'd think that being in armor could only be an advantage. Even if you're a bit more slow, they're not going to be able to hurt you, because you're in armor. At least not hurt you as easily. But in fact, there's something much grimmer than that going on here. Also, do we even have pack dots now? I mean, we have 20 of them, and that is 20 is 2 more than 18. I mean, at least last I learned how to count. Maybe it's changed? I don't know. Although, of course it hasn't changed. Mathematical realism, baby. Mackerel Phones wholeheartedly endorses that doctrine. Okay, hey, Golvis. You see, Golvis has been traveling along. Pac-Man is chasing him, like in Kirby Triple Deluxe, where Kirby chases Taranza. And this pursuit, the goal of this pursuit has been, catching Golvis. But Golvis has been putting up gates behind him, whereas Taranza really didn't put up much of anything. Just, his legions of thousands and tanks and his teleportation technology and armies of clones and that kind of thing. Normal everyday stuff. Okay, let's meet our rock and roll ghost exposing his underwear from outer space. I think the ghosts are beginning to remember why they got rid of this guy. Well, what about 3? And of course they're gonna reappear. They're fruit, they grow on trees. Like in the Hanna-Barbera series. Oh, laugh it up while you can. I'll show you. I'll show you all. Uh-oh. It's interesting that Golvis is, when he catches you, you see his hand circles you instead of the perhaps expected, ghost as we've seen up to this point. Now we just need a 3rd power pellet. What the? What's he about to do? Alright, Golvis, you've turned blue, haven't you, Golvis? And you might notice that he's also now totally exposed in his underwear, instead of what we, previously had him. His underwear is drooping down, it's like a fashion stick. Oh, Golvis! Quit it, Golvis. Now, this game has been re-released by Namco. It was put out as part of a Namco Museum, I believe it was the Namco Museum Battle Collection is what it was called on the Wii. There, however, they totally cut out all of the cutscenes. And while I suppose I can understand why they might do that, because the story obviously isn't anything amazing. I mean, of course it's not. But I do think it's goofy and charming, and by taking it out, it also sort of becomes, like, why is Pac-Man fighting this ghost? Because they leave in the boss battles with Golvis. If it weren't for that, I'd say that's probably, like, the definitive version of the game. And we just lost our chance, because that last power pellet was in the water. And Golvis, lay off! He is just relentless. Yeah, well, you heard the power pellets reappear. That little noise. When power pellet, sprout, they always make that noise. Everybody knows that. Nope. What? Okay, so I'm not doing so hot now. I suppose I remember this game being easy because I used to be good at it. But not so much these days, huh? Anyway, at least the boxes stay broken, so if I want a new health item, I'm not gonna have to go back again. Oh, look at his eyes float up, looking all sad. Well, as far as I'm concerned, cry me a river. You know, 3 power pellets is his weakness. It's just 3, it's his kryptonite. I mean, of course, all the ghosts are weak to, power pellets. But, you know, the thing about Golvis, though, is the way that he's doing it, he just seems like a bully, you know? Okay, now we're gonna get this one. We got it, we got that one, we got that one. With that one out of the way, the rest are gonna fall into place easy peasy. Cherry sundae with hot fudge sundaes with nuts and stuff on top. But there we go. We got a bonus diamond. I'm not surprised Golvis likes diamonds. He's pretty gaudy. He'd probably like fill his hair up with them. That's it? I thought she was gonna have some witty retort. Ah, well. Saturday morning cartoon villain, what'd I tell ya? And so it continues. You probably get an idea of the structure of this game. I don't think that it's, like, fantastic, you know, a classic for the ages, but I do think it's pretty good. And if it were fantastic, it'd probably be better known anyway. Most obscure games have at least some things in them that would turn a lot of people off. And this one, maybe some people would say it's a bit short, but I do want to show you, the beginning of Sweetland before we go here. Because this one is such a departure from the previous themes. It's like now we're in an amusement land made of candy. Like, why? It just seems so bizarre, doesn't it? Like, oh, so yeah, you know, the logical progression is jungle. You know, we start out from the castle, we go into a jungle, and it's like, okay, you know, it's still wilderness. But now it's suddenly like, you're in an amusement park made of candy. Like, why? Did the ghosts make this place out of candy? You might also notice that the, Golvis doors provide a clever reason to, need us to collect Pac Dots, which is, of course, the classic Pac-Man mechanic. Oh, well, at least we got a sweet. Parfait, I think it was. I feel like those turn up in Japanese stuff a lot. I've never really had one that looks like that. Or really, have I ever had one at all? Not entirely sure I have. Oh, Clyde. Bye, Clyde. I speak rather jokingly. I'm not really going to miss you very much, Clyde. Oh, there's a fence. Yeah, you can't really cross a fence. Have you ever tried phasing through a fence? It's not the easiest thing, believe me. Oh, it's Pinky Poo. As you can see, it's also set up so that if you have the armor, you can, like, make the jump. Now, the ghosts don't have any problem jumping because they can fly. Now, they can't fly all that, like, they have to have a certain amount of ground beneath them. This is established in Pac-Man World 3. We're really getting into the deep Pac-Man lore. Because in Pac-Man World 3, with all the deep Pac-Man lore, you know, we could see that the ghosts, if they fall into an abyss, because you can play as a ghost, and if you go over one of the big pits, they'll fall into it. Is what I'm saying here. So now let's get back on the rubber train. That's kind of didn't sound right, did it? So, on the one hand, you fall more slowly, which is often helpful, but here you can see how it could become detrimental if you're not careful. If you're not a real pro like Old Mackerel Phones, that is. A true master of the packy arts. You know, you could say I'm really packing it on. I'm really packing my own praise on here. You know, you could say that, I don't have enough. Actually, yeah, I don't have enough. Not nearly enough. Oh. Well, I went and done screwed up, didn't I, son? Yeah, I did. It's odd. My memory of this was that, like, most of the time what you're trying to do is just get through the level. Almost like a run-to-the-end kind of deal. Instead, what we have is a gather-all-the-Pac-Dots kind of level. So in some sense, it's like a collect-a-thon. Wait, also there are Pac-Dots hidden in the tunnels. And a diamond! You saw that I'd gotten all the diamonds before, though, hadn't you? Or, not all of them. Actually, may have been. I don't really remember anymore. I'm glad it's on video, though. That means it's proven. I mean, I guess it could be, you know, like, faked. But come on, why would I fake something like that? Like, what do you think I am? Anyway, I think we do have enough Pac-Dots now. Because we have 44, and what we need is, you know, 40 of them. That's almost, I think, 4 more. Now, I'm not sure, because I never really was all that good at math, you know? But I was good enough for Golvis. Come on, you know, Golvis must be a C student. Some rock stars have a kind of intellectual quality to them. They you know, really clearly approach their art in a sort of self-conscious way. Like, I want to make something of considerable artistic merit. But Golvis, yeah, he ain't doing nothing like that. Golvis is a total hack. But he really thinks he's hot stuff, and because he can sort of strong-arm other people into listening to him and obeying him, you know, nobody's there to point out how foolish and wrong he is. And that's really, you know, this is what happens when you let somebody's ego go out of control like that. You end up like Golvis. I think we've all known some Golvises now and then. Don't be a Golvis. Is his name like a reference to Elvis, I guess? Yeah, we can't climb up there. That's a bridge into nowhere. Bridge into nowhere. Could be the name of the song. Well, up here we go, I guess. This, I guess it's something like the Ghosts Funhouse they had back in, Pac-Man World. They're following such erratic paths. Oh, it's like that, haunted carousel in Super Mario 64. They take the normal music and instead they replace it with a kind of out-of-tune thing. Oh, holy crap! Get him!
This is for all the suffering you caused me.
I could have gotten all 3 of them, but I didn't quite. So yeah, this game, as you can see, already is becoming somewhat more challenging. Hey, well, there you go. Also, hey, guys, now that I missed you then, you know, escape being eaten by Pac-Man once. Shame on me. Escape twice. Still shame on me. That didn't come out quite right, did it? Now, you see, you don't need to quite get every Pac-Dot, but I think you're beginning to understand that getting as many as possible all the time can only help you. In any case, we do have enough now. Okay, right? Maybe I should get more, actually, since I was just saying, you know, getting as many as possible all the time only helps you. Now we can't go any deeper under there, although it looks like they go further. I mean, these bridges look like they're opening probably into whatever pipe system is, you know, providing this water. Because this can't just be a stagnant pool of water. That'd be, you know, breeding ground for mosquitoes. That wouldn't be good. Although I saw this movie once, it was a great film called, I forgot what it was called. In any case, though, no, Microcosmos is what it was called. And in Microcosmos, what happened was, you see, come on. What happened in Microcosmos was, they recorded bugs doing bug things. It was very charming. And one of the last things was a mosquito leaving the water. And there was beauty in that. See, you can find beauty in the most unexpected of places. So now the ghosts are trying to blow Pac-Man up with their Uzis. Seems a little barbaric. You know, but I want to be clear here. The ghosts might be kind of goofy, but they are, after all, trying to kill a child, so don't get too sympathetic for him, okay? Just keep in mind. Keep in mind this is also all Pinky's idea of all people. Also, in the Pac-Man World games, Pinky has like a crush on Pac-Man. It kind of makes me wonder, you know, a little bit what's going on here. Because, like, doesn't this mean that she's actually, you know, that Pac-Man is a lot younger than her? Like, a lot younger? She's an adult here and he's a kid? I mean, that's rather disturbing, isn't it? It seems to imply that, you know, she, like, ended up falling in love with somebody that much younger than her. I mean, I guess love knows no ages, but still seems sort of creepy. Oh, well, whatever. She can do whatever the heck she wants. Oh, no. You might notice that Clyde there is carrying a night chocolate. Oh, well, good night, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the goal. Yeah, these stages are... I mean, it's a serviceable little game. I don't really have any particular criticisms of it. At least its story is more fun than Super Mario 3D World. Stupid thing. Now, you might notice that now we've gotten enough extra stuff that we got to Pac-Moon. I'm gonna pass on that for now, though. And you can see the crown is what you get when you collect all the Pac dots in the stage. I'm saying these things and simultaneously kind of remembering them. Oh, Pac-Man, things are getting tall now. Look how high up we are. That feather in his cap kind of reminds me also of Pac-Land, much like the presence of fairies do. Fairy, berry. Here we go. I figured there might be a power pellet in the box. Now, now it's strange. Why is these platforms shaped like ghosts ready to be eaten? I suppose they're made by the Pac people. Like, this whole amusement park was probably built by them. But it does kind of make you think about this. I mean, think about this. It's almost like it's like an offensive racial caricature that's decorating this place. I mean, you know, there's really clearly... I mean, the Pac people are as racial as, say, you know, turn-of-the-century United States. I mean, there's a very strong sense of, you know, either you're a Pac person or you're a ghost. I mean, it's much more so than even in, say, the Mushroom Kingdom, where there's a lot of tension between Koopas and Goombas and Toads and what have you. As masterfully as explored in that the greatest commentary on race perhaps ever created, Paper Mario. Now, you might notice they have a feather chocolate bar right there, but as you may deduce, you don't really want that, because if you get it, you're going to blow away a lot more readily than Pac-Man is in his suit of armor. I mean, he's wearing a heavy suit of armor, and yet it's already this windy even with it on. Like, he's already getting blown away this much. So think about what a strong wind this must be. If you look directly into it, it would really sting your eyes. Okay. Hey, come here. Thank you. Alright. Nice get on the red one. Gosh, thank God we're out of there. I mean, this is a pretty nightmarish place. Imagine what the ghosts think walking through here. Like, look, they've made all these disgusting, offensive caricatures of our people. Like, you know, how do... We live in a day and age where the Pac people still think this is acceptable. So, maybe... I mean, that's where all their, you know, rage comes from. But as you can see, they're not saints either. They're not just victims here. They're also attacking the Pacs during a sacred festival of theirs. And at that... well, we have enough Pac dots. We don't need to go over there. And in addition to that, are also, well, attacking a child. They're trying to kill a minor. He's, you know, Pac Kid here has been forced. He's been forced into as a child soldier in this war that was started generations before, hundreds of years before. Such is the burden of history that each of us must carry. So, really, what I'm trying to get at here is that Pack and Roll is a lot deeper than you might think. I mean, of course, a lot of games really have a lot of, you know, pretty brilliant ideas in them. I did not get to the diamond because Pac-Man had to be a coward and cling to the ledge like, oh boy, I'm gonna fall off. Now, you might notice that there's a drain there. If you fall down the drains, you're gonna fall down them, so don't. Okay, that's the advice I have. Yeah, I don't think this is stagnant water. Although at the same time, I guess it could be, since after all, I mean, we don't know that there are mosquitoes in Pack World. It's very possible. Oh, look, flan. Or pudding, as this is normally called in, like, translated Japanese media that I've been exposed to. I mean, flan, pudding, they're cousins. I mean, they're not quite the same thing, per se, but, you know, they have some relationship to each other. Hey. Criminy. Well, lost my chance there. Now none of these ghosts are gonna get munched. Oh, well. Who needs a lot of those rotten... Whatever, who knows where they've been? I don't want them in my mouth anyway. Really? Well, I mean, shouldn't be a surprise, since they always tell you how many pack dots you need. Uh-oh. Yeah, yourself. I like the sort of cutesy style of this game. The ghosts the other games of this period were portrayed like with gloves and stuff. They have arms, but here they're like sort of goofy-looking caricatures, which I can get behind. But come on. Oh well, whatever. The important thing isn't that they let us take out the ghost. The important thing is that this will let us keep going without being harassed by their constant bombardments of skull and crossbone bombs. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's realistic, right? Like, I believe that in real life, military is a standard matter of precaution. It's like a, you know, universally recognized symbol. They put the skull and crossbone on all explosives. Always, all of them. That fail! Anyway, let's get out of here. Wait, do we have enough? Yeah, we have enough. Not quite enough there, though. Well, let's go over here and gather a handful more, shall we? Aboard a roller coaster. And as you can see, it's very high up. Oh, gosh. I never liked roller coasters. I've been on a roller coaster once when I was a little kid. My memory of it was that it was terrifying. I hated it. Like, what I seem to remember was that, like, on it, I was, like, thinking, like, I want to cry because this is the most intolerably unpleasant thing that's, like, ever happened to me. Oh. I'm missing all these goodies. This reminds me of some stuff in Super Mario 64. Like, wasn't there something in a volcano where Mario is riding a platform like this? Anyway, we have enough to get through that gate now. Anyway, I was on this roller coaster, and I was almost crying, but I had to tough through it because I was on it and there was no escaping. And it was a pretty mild roller coaster, to be clear here. I mean, I don't want to boast, but I can get scared pretty easily. Okay, Golvis. One more time before I'll be done. I'll begin my long play and I'll go die. I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna be Golvis. If you like the look of this, don't buy the Battle Collection. Don't give Namco, you know, don't give it... God, is he playing? He's playing with Pac-Man like a basketball. Anyway, but don't give Namco, you know, your support for this game, okay? Because they should have kept it in the cutscene. Like, if they had, I'd say that this would, I mean, not be, you know, the Wii release would be the definitive version of this for sure. Not that it's like a fantastic masterpiece or anything of the sort. But, like, it's pretty okay. And I think it's a shame they really took that part out. Maybe critics didn't like it? I don't know. Oh boy. This is a lot more difficult than the last battle, because there are no health items around. Okay, Golvis. Golvis, get out of here, Golvis. He's stunned, so we can get past him and go grab another one. We got it just in time. I thought that the other power pellet had already worn off, honestly. Here we go! Good job. Alright, Golvi. What are you gonna do next, Golvi? What's that little shoo-shoo noise it keeps hearing? I'm not sure. Golvis reacts to, a power pellet being eaten near him sort of like as if he's being slapped or something, Oh, God! How am I gonna get up there? I need this. The issue is, I'm a lot lower on health than Golvis is. I mean, admittedly not that much lower since I'm only like, Golvis really doesn't have all that much health. I mean, he has what? He has 2 health bars left. Pac-Man has 1. That's really not substantially more. The difference is, it's much harder for Pac-Man to remove any of his health bars than it is for him to remove Pac-Man's health bars. When I talk about health bars, I mean like protein bars. They eat a lot of protein bars. Kashi, that kind of stuff. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Oh. The final round there was a lot easier. The donut background for Pac-Man's a nice touch since it's Sweetland. I mean, I know that they had the donut background the whole time, that every level gets its own unique background. Maybe I should have mentioned that sooner, I don't know. Well, I mentioned it now. Hey, Golvi. Get it? I suppose Golvis is supposed to be a combination, like a portmanteau of Golvis and, like, Ghost and Elvis. But he's really not Elvis. I mean, Elvis was a rock and roller. Some might argue that he's about as, that he's the king of rock. Well, I mean, a lot of people would argue that. He's kind of what he's known as these days. Hey, Golvis. You know what I would really appreciate, Golvis, is if you'd quit fighting me and just let Pac-Man win already. If you did, that'd be swell. Okay, we got the first power pellet. Golvis, why'd you send in these ghosts carrying power pellets? If you hadn't done that, Pac-Man couldn't have beaten you. They probably had just been out in the orchard stealing them from the packs. You know how it is. This is war, as I said. Hey, you're the one spinning that guitar around like a maniac. Like I said, they're beginning to understand why they got rid of this guy. Anyway, you're beginning to see the narrative pattern here. It carries on this way pretty much through to the end. Although it's a more noble collection quest than many, because you're not collecting gems or something. You're collecting your family members who've been kidnapped. So that's pretty good, right? Yeah. Certainly makes it stand out from a lot of things. Anyway, this is where things begin getting kind of tough, if I recall. So, before I close out this bit of, video game trying, I want to show you one of Pac-Moon. Okay? These are like challenge levels. I don't remember them that clearly. Wait a minute, Pac-Moon 1 is just the original Pac-Man? I'm not surprised. They put this into, wait, Oh, I see. I forgot the pokey, speedy, bashful thing. Yeah. Pac-Man games almost always include the original Pac-Man somewhere or other. What a way to close this out, where it all began, huh? 25 years before this game came out, more or less, just about. Wow. I really did not remember that this was level 1 of Pac-Moon. I know that the later levels of Pac-Moon are more like what you would expect given the rest of the game. Like, they're like stages for this game. Oh, I missed the cherry. Now I'm not gonna get all the high cherry points. Oh. Oh, that Pinky. She always ambushes you. She loves cowboy movies, you know, like Stalin. That's the reason for her ambush. Though the dual screen thing is weird because because the maze isn't quite cut off perfectly. So there's a bit of like a duplicate thing going on at the, I'm not going for the cherry. I'm gonna focus on getting all the pellets, like we have been with Golvis. Maybe that's what's going on in the original Pac-Man. You need to get all the Pac dots so you can get through the, through the Golvis doors. I mean, Golvis is the final boss of the original Pac-Man, right? Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, that the original Pac-Man ended with Pac-Man fighting Golvis. Yeah! We did it! Hooray! Oh. Yeah, you know, when you look at games from the 80s, there are a lot of old video games, really. What you see is that a lot of them are themed not around getting to an ending, but playing until you die. And the reason for this is future anthropologists will no doubt be able to tell us, is that in games of the era, you know, people of this era were really preoccupied with the idea of death. And so they wanted their media to constantly remind them of their mortality. And that's why games like Tetris, or, for example, Pac-Man, or a Death March, is a reflection of the cultural preoccupation with death at the time. It was a very religious society that wanted people to both live their life to the most, but also remember that they are going to die. It's like a memento mori kind of thing. Oh. Ghosts do periodically change direction in the original Pac-Man, don't they? Oh! I didn't even get to the first Pac cutscene! What a Pac disappointment. Well, this has been Mackerel Phones, guys. I guess I'm gonna go packing. Really, I'm actually gonna go on a trip in a few days, so I should probably pack. Actually, no, it's tomorrow. Well, dang! Well, Pac-Man's going on a trip today. He's going on a trip to stop Golvis. Bye. I can see you guys. It's really quite strange I'm so bad at this. I remember that I used to be pretty good at, Pac-Man Championship Edition. And that was like an extra special challenge version of Pac-Man. Which is available on Steam now, actually. That's pretty good. Really what makes Pac-Man challenging, and I suppose interesting, is that there's no guarantee ever that you can't outrun the ghosts. If you're just trying to run, the ghosts are going to catch you. They only slow down in those tunnels to the side, and of course when you begin eating them. So that's why it's essential to periodically eat them. Not to go on ghost diets or that sort of thing. The ghost diet is where they meet to discuss matters of common law.